Licorice, or licorice, or ~lɪkᵊrɪs, licorice, is the root of Glycyrrhiza glabra from which a sweet flavor can be extracted. The licorice plant is a herbaceous perennial legume native to southern Europe, India, and parts of Asia. It is not botanically related to anise, star anise, or fennel, which are sources of similar flavoring compounds. Most licorice is used as a flavoring agent for tobacco, particularly American blend cigarettes, to which licorice lends a natural sweetness and a distinctive flavor and makes it easier to inhale the smoke by creating bronchodilators, which open up the lungs. Licorice flavors are also used as candies or sweeteners, particularly in some European and Middle Eastern countries. Licorice extracts have a number of medical uses, and they are also used in herbal and folk medications. Excessive consumption of licorice may result in adverse effects, and overconsumption should be suspected clinically in patients presenting with otherwise unexplained hyperkalemia and muscle weakness. Etymology. The word licorice is derived from the Greek gamma lambda upsilon kappa upsilon rho rho iota zeta alpha, meaning sweet root, from gamma lambda upsilon kappa upsilon sigma, sweet, plus iota zeta alpha, root. The name provided by Dioscorides. It is usually spelled licorice in British usage, but licorice in the United States and Canada. It is called ʻlɪkᵊrɪs in Arabic, ʻlɪkᵊrɪm in Telugu, ʻlɪkᵊrɪs in Kannada, in Urdu, ʻlɪkᵊrɪm in Tamil. Description. It is a herbaceous perennial, growing to 1 meter in height, with pinnate leaves about 7 to 15 centimeters long, with 9 to 17 leaflets. The flowers are 0.8–1.2 centimeters long, purple to pale whitish blue, produced in a loose inflorescence. The fruit is an oblong pod, 2 to 3 centimeters long, containing several seeds. The roots are stoloniferous. Chemistry. The scent of licorice root comes from a complex and variable combination of compounds, of which a net whole is up to 3% of total volatiles. Much of the sweetness in licorice comes from glycyrrhiza, which has a sweet taste, 30 to 50 times the sweetness of sugar. The sweetness is very different from sugar, being less instant, tart, and lasting longer. The isoflavine glabrine and the isoflavane glabradine, found in the roots of licorice, are phytoestrogens. Cultivation and uses. Licorice, which grows best in well-drained soils in deep valleys with full sun, is harvested in the autumn 2 to 3 years after planting. Countries producing licorice include India, Iran, Afghanistan, the People's Republic of China, Pakistan, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Turkey. The world's leading manufacturer of licorice products is M&F Worldwide, which manufactures more than 70% of the worldwide licorice flavors sold to end users. Tobacco. Most licorice is used as a flavoring agent for tobacco. For example, M&F Worldwide reported in 2011 that about 63% of its licorice products sales are to the worldwide tobacco industry for use as tobacco flavor, enhancing and moistening agents in the manufacture of American blend cigarettes, moist snuff, chewing tobacco, and pipe tobacco. American blend cigarettes made up a larger portion of worldwide tobacco consumption in earlier years, and the percentage of licorice products used by the tobacco industry was higher in the past. M&F Worldwide sold approximately 73% of its licorice products to the tobacco industry in 2005. A consultant to M&F Worldwide's predecessor company stated in 1975 that it was believed that well over 90% of the total production of licorice extract and its derivatives found its way into tobacco products. Licorice provides tobacco products with a natural sweetness and a distinctive flavor that blends readily with the natural and imitation flavoring components employed in the tobacco industry. It represses harshness and is not detectable as licorice by the consumer. Tobacco flavorings such as licorice also make it easier to inhale the smoke by creating bronchodilators, which open up the lungs. Chewing tobacco requires substantially higher levels of licorice extract as emphasis on the sweet flavor appears highly desirable. Food and candy licorice flavor is found in a wide variety of candies or sweets. In most of these candies, the taste is reinforced by aniseed oil, so the actual content of licorice is very low. Licorice confections are primarily purchased by consumers in the European Union. In the Netherlands, where licorice candy is one of the most popular forms of sweets, only a few of the many forms that are sold contain aniseed, although mixing it with mint, menthol, or with laurel is quite popular. Mixing it with ammonium chloride is also popular. The most popular licorice, known in the Netherlands as zoetdrop, actually contains very little salt, i.e., sodium chloride. The salty taste is probably due to ammonium chloride, and the blood pressure-raising effect is due to Glycyrrhiza. Strong, salty sweets are popular in Nordic countries. Pontefract in Yorkshire was the first place where licorice mixed with sugar began to be used as a sweet in the same way it is in the modern day. Pontefract cakes were originally made there. In County Durham, Yorkshire, and Lancashire, it is colloquially known as Spanish, supposedly because Spanish monks grew licorice root at Revo Abbey near Thirsk. In Italy, Spain, and France, licorice is popular in its natural form. The root of the plant is simply dug up, washed, dried, and chewed as a mouth freshener. Throughout Italy, unsweetened licorice is consumed in the form of small black pieces made only from 100% pure licorice extract. The taste is bitter and intense. In Calabria, a popular liqueur is made from pure licorice extract. Licorice is also very popular in Syria and Egypt, where it is sold as a drink, in shops as well as street vendors. It is used for its expectorant qualities in folk medicine in Egypt. Dried licorice root can be chewed as a sweet. Black licorice contains about 100 calories per ounce. Licorice is used by brewers to flavor and color porter classes of beers, and the enzymes in the root also stabilize the foam heads produced by beers brewed with it. Medicine Glycyrrhiza has also demonstrated antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, hepatoprotective, and blood pressure increasing effects in vitro and in vivo, as is supported by the finding that intravenous Glycyrrhiza slows the progression of viral and autoimmune hepatitis. In one clinical trial, licorice demonstrated promising activity, when applied topically, against atopic dermatitis. Additionally, licorice may be effective in treating hyperlipidemia. Licorice has also demonstrated efficacy in treating inflammation-induced skin hyperpigmentation. Licorice may also be useful in preventing neurodegenerative disorders and dental caries. The anti-ulcer, laxative, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, anti-tumor and expectorant properties of licorice have been investigated. The compound glycyrrhizin, found in licorice, has been proposed as being useful for liver protection in tuberculosis therapy, but evidence does not support this use, which may in fact be harmful. Folk medicine in traditional Chinese medicine. Licorice is believed to harmonize the ingredients in a formula and to carry the formula to the 12 regular meridians. Licorice has been traditionally known and used as medicine in Ayurveda for rejuvenation. Toxicity. Its major dose-limiting toxicities are corticosteroid in nature, due to the inhibitory effect its chief active constituents, glycyrrhizin and anoxolone, have on cortisol degradation and include edema, hyperkalemia, weight gain or loss, and hypertension. The United States Food and Drug Administration believes that foods containing licorice and its derivatives are safe if not consumed excessively. Other jurisdictions have suggested no more than 100 mg to 200 mg of glycyrrhizin per day, the equivalent of about 70 to 150 grams of licorice. Gallery. Sliver of licorice root. Various licorice root slivers. Licorice root with bark. Inflorescence G. Glabra. Various licorice products. Different flavored licorice sticks. Foliage. G. glabra from Cola's medicinal plants.